Swimming for his life, clinging to a beacon off Caloundra. Tonight, the incredible rescue after a skipper went overboard. How his dog was saved from the stranded boat. New South Wales COVID explosion, where cases are spreading and what it means for Queensland's. Exclusive southeast car smashing rampage. Urgent advice on an Aldi recall. And tonight, have a holiday and help Queenslanders at the same time. The new deals saving you cash.
This is 9 News Queensland.
Good evening. A naked boatie and his dog and their runaway yacht. It's a survival story like no other. Going overboard and missing for hours, the man eventually plucked from a marine beacon after his yacht washed ashore. The skipper telling 9 News of his terrifying swim to safety and just how he managed to signal for help.
Clinging to a beacon off Caloundra. That's David Simpson. He's been there for over 3 hours.
I was just concerned I wasn't going to be around for my family more than anything.
And this is how the 64-year-old experienced yachty ended up at the mercy of the sea. He was trying to secure his dinghy to the stern of his cruiser when
the rope broke holding the dinghy, and the dinghy hit me in the and I fell about 2.5, 3 metres on my ribs and off the boat.
The 13-metre MV Focus still running. His 13-year-old staffy Mitch on board, swept ashore and running aground on the Caloundra sandbar.
I was watching the dog in the boat floating away.
David in survival mode.
I swam for about maybe half a mile or 3/4 of a mile.
All the way to the Cardinal marker.
They had a ladder about 1 metre up, and I waited for a wave and managed to put my hands up.
On the mainland, local lifesavers spotting his yacht.
One of our lifeguards courageously hopped on board the vessel, which was still running.
An air and sea search being launched. On the beacon, David trying to flag down help any way he could.
I took my shorts off and was waving them, and maybe that's why nobody stopped, because I was naked.
And as the sun set,
the lights came on, the red beacon light, so I started doing a type of an SOS type thing, flashing for the next boat.
Finally, his prayers were answered. A cargo ship to the rescue.
I was very happy when he came out, maybe the pilot, ship's pilot or something came out, and I realised he started flashing a light at me to tell me he'd seen me.
Did you hear that there is a person hanging on one of the pylon poles there, and they're sending a vessel to him immediately?
Luckily he was found before night time.
Does the person need any medical support, over?
As for Mitch the sea dog,
he was pretty upset, so I had to try and comfort him as much as I could.
Little Mitch hitched a ride back onto dry land on a jet ski with his Knights in red. He spent the night with Corey and now he's waiting to be reunited with his owner. This morning, exhausted, a little bruised, but alive. David and the Coast Guard trying to salvage his yacht. Only 9 News joining them for the journey, even with boats and a jet ski. She wasn't moving.
We're broke now, Ian. The fact of the matter is that we can't do it. No. We're not budging her.
The MV Focus will be salvaged over the coming days. For David and his dog, a voyage they'll never forget. Sarah Court, 9 News.
To breaking news now, and Victoria's 61-day streak with no new locally acquired COVID-19 infections could be over, with 3 new cases detected. Health authorities are tonight investigating how the virus could have made its way into the community. It comes as a nervous Sydney heads into a grim new year with tighter restrictions after recording a spike in COVID cases and a new cluster.
Sydney's inner west shocked into action as it emerges as the new virus epicentre, COVID breaking containment lines and surfacing in the suburbs.
We've seen the proliferation of cases outside the northern beaches overnight.
The Premier announcing a serious setback, our first double-digit day since last Monday. 18 new cases, 9 are linked to the Avalon cluster. All were already identified as close contacts and all were isolating. The other 9 are of concern. 1 is expected to be connected to the Northern Beaches, 2 are in Wollongong and 6 are part of an emerging Croydon cluster.
In particular, the Croydon cluster is of concern because there are no direct links at this stage.
The outbreak detected in one extended family, 6 cases spread over 3 households. And after a series of Christmas catch-ups, 34 close contacts are now isolating, some in the southwest.
We can't have this being seen as a Northern Beaches local government area issue.
And confirmation of the spread this afternoon in Sydney's southwest, Croydon concern, prompting huge queues.
Put the New Year's plans on hold. Need to go and get tested immediately.
The fresh outbreaks prompting the Premier to scale back New Year's Eve parties even further.
Our preferred advice is that people just stay home for New Year's Eve.
And if there's even a suspicion of people flouting the rules, some uninvited guests in blue could be arriving.
We've got a lot of resources out there that'll be in uniform and from specialist commands, and if we have to door knock to ensure people are complying with the current health orders, we'll certainly be doing that.
Move on orders first and then fines $1,000 each for breaking the rules. Police showing their zero tolerance approach, another 9 wedding guests copping the penalty after leaving the Northern Beaches lockdown to attend a Piedmont reception, bringing the total number of fines at the event to 21. Sydney, a city on notice. Liz Daniels, 9 News.
Well, Sally Guyte joins us now from State Parliament. Sally, what do these latest outbreaks mean for Queensland?
Well, we know health officials are closely monitoring each and every case in New South Wales as we go to air tonight. Queenslanders in response are turning out for testing, some seen at the PA hospital today. In a statement, the Health Minister standing by that strong border closure in regards to this cluster. And Andrew, as for when we will find out exactly what is happening on the border, that decision is expected to be handed down next Friday.
Thanks, Sally. Well, the biggest piece of border infrastructure yet has arrived. The M1 closed overnight for the construction of this large shed, towering over drivers as they pass through the border checkpoint. Meanwhile, a 4th crossing will open from 7 o'clock tomorrow morning at Miles Street, hoping to ease gridlock for drivers entering Queensland. A woman's been rescued from a tree and a train derailed as parts of the state continue to be battered by wild weather. More than 50 roads across Queensland are closed due to flooding, and more rain is expected here in the southeast.
Airlie Beach's main street, full of puddles and tourists. Umbrellas almost compulsory for the last 24 hours as rain hammered down over the region.
We've got a tropical weather system upon us in Queensland, and that means we're starting to see the wet season take place.
Holidaymakers on Hamilton Island got 112 millimetres in 24 hours, but it certainly didn't ruin the view. Further inland in Pentland, near Charters Towers, it's like a tree. It was easy to get bogged at Amaro Station.
We saw quite a bit of rainfall all down the tropical east coast and even extending into the interior. Some places near Charters Towers got in excess of 100 millimetres.
Emergency services have been kept busy. At Charters Towers, a fertiliser train derailed. An investigation will determine if the wild weather was a factor. In Mackay, a woman was rescued from a tree, getting trapped after walking over a flooded causeway late last night. Dams are full in the nearby western mining town of Clermont, and the roads are over in the outback town of Gundawindi. More than 50 roads in the state are right now flood affected from all the rain. Overnight, the Darling Downs town of Carrara copped 103 millimetres in just 1 hour.
So that's sort of a 1 in a 100-year event for that specific location. We do see that sort of rainfall though scattered around Queensland.
And there's more rain on the way. The Weather Bureau says we can expect between 50 to 100 millimetres to fall anywhere between Cairns and the Sunshine Coast throughout the rest of this week. And there is more rain on the way for the southeast too. I'll have more details on that a little bit later in the weather report.
Thanks, Ebony. Tonight, police are hunting this man, Andrew Campbell, wanted in connection with the death of a 9-month-old boy in Ipswich last year. The 41-year-old Bellbarry man hasn't contacted police despite their appeals. A 34-year-old woman was charged with the little boy's murder last week. Anyone with information is urged to contact police. We have a clearer idea tonight of what reopening our international borders could look like. The federal government could adopt a traffic light style system, banning entry from COVID hotspots and potentially allowing vaccinated travellers to avoid hotel quarantine. But state and territory leaders aren't convinced.
Touchdown Australia, international arrivals with masks on and bags in tow. Next destination, hotel quarantine. But having a vaccine could become your express ticket to travel.
That's certainly something we're looking at.
One option also under consideration by the government is a traffic light style system, allowing people in from countries allocated as green zones and not make them quarantine in hotels if they've been vaccinated, but to be tested every few days. Amber, forcing quarantine, potentially for those coming from countries where there may be vaccine shortages, places like Pakistan, Mexico, South Africa and Zimbabwe. And red zones, effectively barring travel from a country or region if it's high risk, similar to northern Italy and Wuhan early in the pandemic. How countries get access to enough of the vaccine is a serious concern.
It's going to take us from March to October in a high resource country to get everybody vaccinated. The low and income countries won't be able to achieve that for several years.
And for some leaders here, allowing travellers to skip hotel quarantine, even if they're vaccinated overseas, is too risky.
We've got a hotel quarantine program for the foreseeable future.
I am not comfortable with having anybody outside the quarantine system who's come here from overseas.
And doctors fear the vaccine won't prevent transmission.
You might be able to bring COVID into Australia and spread it through our community, despite not being susceptible to it yourself.
They want 80% of Australians vaccinated before hotel quarantine is no longer required, and that task is huge.
170,000 injections per day, each day for 240 days.
One extra level of protection at the borders could be rapid antigen tests, which can diagnose COVID in 10 minutes.
But we can test them a couple of times in a row and then send them home.
Health authorities here are standing by traditional testing.
We're relying on that gold standard for now.
The golden hope for 2021 might be these vials. Jonathan Kersley, 9 News.
The biggest decision in cricket is usually whether to bat or to bowl, but there's been a bigger question mark over the third test between Australia and India. Authorities have finally decided it should be played in Sydney, but tonight the debate goes on.
A sharp and concerning rise in Sydney's COVID cases, but hours after greenlighting the SCG test, Cricket Australia was sticking to its guns.
At the moment, tickets are on sale for the New Year's test, and we'll continue to work closely and take the best advice.
Right now, that advice is to proceed with the help of a strict bubble designed to keep players, officials and broadcasters safe. They'll remain in the team hotel, only allowed out to train and play, and under an agreement struck with Queensland Health, they'll then be permitted into Brisbane for the fourth test.
There's heaps of complex moving parts with these kind of decisions, but we all feel really comfortable.
But with 9 cases yesterday and 18 today, some like epidemiologist Catherine Bennett believe an urgent rethink is needed, especially when it comes to crowds.
I'm concerned it's not a large ground, so you don't want anywhere near 50% capacity. In Melbourne we had a third and that was without any community transmission.
The Premier doesn't concur. At this stage, up to 22,000 fans could be allowed to pass through the gates.
The best health advice to us is that 50% capacity of that venue in an outdoor setting is safer than being in a household.
The New Year's test has always been a celebration, a sea of pink in the stands on day 3. But Australia's Chief Medical Officer has plenty of reservations.
With my family, I wouldn't be taking them to this particular cricket because of their vulnerability.
Players will remain in Melbourne until Monday, by which time officials are hoping the situation will have calmed in New South Wales.
I think everyone's prepared to, do whatever it takes. I think we've kind of got the outlook that the relative freedoms that we've had so far this summer has been, a bonus.
But if we've learned anything about this virus this year, it's that the best laid plans can easily and quickly be uprooted. Clint Stanaway, 9 News.
It's been revealed America's vaccine distribution efforts are falling far behind schedule. President-elect Joe Biden attacking the president for not doing more, as the nation's top doctors warn the pandemic is about to get a lot worse.
standing in line for hours, Florida seniors patiently queue to get the COVID vaccine.
Yeah, it means everything. See our kids. We haven't seen our kids since January, February, so.
As the Vice President-elect becomes the latest top official to get the jab.
That was easy.
But the country is falling behind on its vaccine schedule. Under Operation Warp Speed, the US hoped to administer 20 million doses by the end of the year. But the latest data shows just 2.1 million people have received a shot in the arm. The Trump administration claims the figures are due to delays in reporting. But as the president played golf today, the blame game got underway.
And the pace of the vaccination program is moving now, if it continues to move as it is now, it's going to take years, not months, to vaccinate the American people.
I mean, even if you undercount, 2 million is an undercount, how much undercount could it be? So we are below where we want to be.
Thousands of Americans are dying by the day. One of them, newly elected Congressman, Republican Luke Letlow. The 41-year-old father of two from Louisiana, now the highest-ranking US politician to die from the virus. And Dr. Anthony Fauci warns the country is still heading in the wrong direction.
And in addition to the surge, we're going to have an increase superimposed upon that surge, which could make January even worse than December.
Here in California, the state's stay-at-home order has been extended as hospitals struggle to cope with the rise in infections. It's a pain being felt across the country, with COVID patients now filling 40% of the nation's ICU beds. In the United States, Tim Arvia, 9 News.
6 people have died and more than 20 are injured after Croatia was rocked by its most powerful earthquake in more than a century. The 6.4 magnitude quake demolished towns and was even felt in several neighbouring countries.
12:20 p.m. in the town of Petrinja. A press conference with the local mayor comes to a sudden end and an emergency begins. Inside this car, a father and son are trapped beneath the fallen rubble. After a few frantic moments, the boy is pulled to safety. And eventually, there's a tearful reunion. The mayor reveals that half of the town has been demolished and he doesn't know if people in houses are alive or dead. Soon, a 12-year-old girl would become the first on a list of fatalities. The epicentre of the earthquake was around 50 kilometres southeast of the Croatian capital of Zagreb. The force could be felt right across the country and even abroad. This is the moment the Slovenian parliament was evacuated. Only a day ago, Croatia had been rattled by a smaller earthquake, and in March, a 5.3 tremor had been declared the country's biggest in 140 years. 9 months on, they're already dealing with a more devastating disaster and fear what could come next. In London, Ben Avery, 9 News.
Over 200 kilometres an hour see the brazen teenage thieves speeding through the southeast in stolen cars, flaunting their crimes. No masks allowed. Next, what's behind this bizarre sign on the door of a southeast business? Spectacular scenes as a volcano's base becomes a lava lake. And at the end of sport, a bottle of water and a smile. We meet the woman helping to ease border checkpoint stress.
From sweetest devotion to heartbreak.
It's quite disappointing and disheartening.
The months on the warpath over baby products that never arrive.
It's a lot of money to lose.
So why is this woman who runs the company...
This isn't our fault.
...acting like it's a joke?
Guys, current affairs here.
A current affair next.
Oh, there it is. This is the Australian dream to see Uluru.
That is definitely it.
With the world locked down, we're setting the travel guides loose across Australia with old favourites.
It's okay to fart and relax your anus.
And new faces.
It's not the size of your ditch, it's how you blow it.
Travel Guides Aussie Spectaculars.
We got to sleep on top of one of the 7 wonders of the natural world.
You shouldn't talk about me like that.
Coming in January on 9.
Start the new year brighter with Beacon's Boxing Day sale. We've dropped prices on all our lights, fans and globes. Shop now and save on everything store-wide. Hurry, sale ends 3rd of Jan.
Save in the Super Cheap Auto Super Service Sale Catalogue. These Castrol engine oils are half price, and Club Plus members get 15 to 40% off XTM 4x4 accessories. Join online or in store today.
Raspberry? Blueberry? Or why not both? At Macca's, there are 36 frozen Fanta flavours to discover for just $1. You can mix your favourites or enjoy a frozen Coke. A little goes a long way at Macca's.
Save up to 50% off Lazy Boys Boxing Week sale. Like the Aston Nordic recliner now 50% off. Or save hundreds on the Harbourtown lift chair and $1,250 off the Harbourtown suite. Plus more savings to discover at your nearest Lazy Boy Furniture Gallery now.
Sometimes when this place feels kind of.
What are you doing back in our town, you stinking pig?
You're reopening the investigation.
So this is your one chance to tell us the truth.
I wish I knew.
You think you're going to get the truth in a town like this? Where were you that afternoon?
Why would I lie?
When you've been lying about something for so long.
Go!
It becomes second nature.
Under the Milky Way tonight.
9 News, brought to you by The Dry, the cinematic event of the year starring Eric Bana in cinemas New Year's Day.
Dangerous and just plain crazy. That's how police are describing the behaviour of a teenage girl busted after filming herself driving a stolen BMW at over 200 kilometres an hour, posting the reckless stunt on social media, evidence that will now be used against her in court.
Rap music blaring.
Back then it was hand to hand, nowadays I don't have.
High speed and a very low IQ. Kid criminals doing 210 kilometres an hour in a stolen BMW, bragging about their joyrides online for their friends and police to see.
That's just crazy. They're obviously inexperienced drivers. Driving that speed is just dangerous to themselves and to anyone else on the road.
Another video from the same teenage girl, a different car doing 180 on the M1.
Back, I'm loading.
And you're completely helpless because you don't know if they have weapons or not. You're just going about your daily life and they're there inside your house.
The BMW belongs to Gary, stolen from the Gold Coast, now being paraded by young thugs on social media. It started here, the convertible taken from his home in Surfers Paradise on Sunday, tracked using Gary's stolen iPhone to an address in Upper Coomera. Then, through Logan, found badly damaged in Yamanto in Ipswich yesterday afternoon. A 17-year-old girl facing children's court today on 8 serious criminal charges, including burglary, evading police and dangerous driving.
Well, how do you teach respect? You don't teach it by letting them off time and time and time again, because then there's no incentive for them to learn.
Mackenzie Colohan, 9 News.
A North Brisbane guitar shop has been slammed for having a no mask policy. The now removed sign at Guitar Exchange at Morayfield sparking huge backlash on social media for its controversial COVID statement. 9 News understands store workers have received multiple death threats over the sign, believed to have been on the door for weeks as a security measure to stop potential thieves covering their faces.
Well, I don't agree with it. I would prefer that they wouldn't be putting up signs like that.
Queensland Health says if you're taking health advice from a music shop, it's time to change your tune. A close call for a delivery driver in Toowoomba, his truck bursting into flames, parked in a Coles loading bay. Residents say they heard explosions around 5 a.m, thick black smoke causing the supermarket to be evacuated. Nobody was injured. In breaking news, the UK has just approved the Oxford University and AstraZeneca vaccine, the second jab to be approved by the nation. It comes as Britain logged a record number of COVID cases for the second day in a row, with a staggering 53,000 new infections. There are fears soaring numbers will bring even tougher restrictions for parts of England. Selfie-seeking tourists are being warned to stay away as Hawaii's Kilauea volcano puts on a spectacular show. Scientists capturing a glowing river of molten rock cascading 40 metres into a lava lake. The natural wonder, situated on the Big Island, began erupting last week. Holiday at home and help out your fellow Queenslanders. From Cairns to Coolangatta, tonight the government approved discounts available now, making your family's next getaway more affordable. Where you can go and when you can travel, that must-watch story just moments away. Hit and run, a car-smashing rampage at a southeast train station. A fever and failing muscles, golfing great Greg Norman opens up on his COVID battle. 12 months since these terrifying scenes, tonight we revisit the community struggling to recover amidst a pandemic. And farewelling a fashion favourite.
We've become so entangled. Our hearts, they hurt the same. But somehow we always seem to shake things off. We never seem to let the burdens weigh us down. Yeah, we're okay now. Together we made a stronger start.
It's a brand new year, Agent K. Our mission is clear. Make 2021 the biggest,
best,
greatest year ever.
Morning, Agent B.
K.
A.
K.
A? Where's T? MIA?
QLD. Okay.
Yep, it's going to be a blockbuster year, all right.
Every Australian waking up with the best breakfast news, button up.
I mean, nobody does it better.
I'll tell you what, K, I am pumped for this.
It's going to be our best year ever.
What, you mean better than this year? Well, I guess it has been a dog of a year.
There's one more thing. We have to erase all memory of 2020. 36.1.
Not as hot as I thought I was.
The Today Show, Australia's most talked about breakfast show.
At QSuper, our members know, beyond every cloud, there is always blue sky.
It's a bright blue sky.
20 years ago, Ascent Footwear redefined leather school shoes by using performance sport technology for unmatched comfort and support. Millions of shoes later, Australian parents still trust their children's growing feet to Ascent. Because although school shoes might look the same, Ascent is totally unique. Don't compromise. Ask for Ascent. Sports shoes in disguise.
The end-of-year mega sale is on now at Video Pro. Our best ever deals on big screen TVs. Great savings on all Sonos wireless audio. Get $300 instant cash back on Epson 4K home theatre projectors. Grab a deal online or in-store today at Video Pro.
Here at Amart Furniture, it's the final week of our Boxing Day sale with up to 50% off a huge range of stylish pieces. You'd better get a move on. Amart Furniture, on sale this week only.
Boating, cabin fishing is BCFing fun.
It's the big one, the BCFing Boxing Day sale. Club members hook in with 20% off all rods. Load up!
BCFing fun. Hey!
Still right to drop them off?
Where were you thinking?
How about Macca's again? Which one? There's two of them.
If you're facing north, turn right at the one on the left.
Seriously?
Traffic is building up on the freeway, but looks like traffic is flowing freely past the Macca's on Church Street.
Wait! Man, that was so hectic.
Max Murphy fought for our country. Now his family is fighting for him. Poisoned in his Queensland home. Relatives demand justice. A current affair next.
Crooks have gone on a rampage, smashing the windscreens on multiple cars in North Brisbane. The damaged vehicles were parked at the Petrie train station. Anyone with information is urged to come forward. A year on and far from rebuilt. Tonight we take a tour of the towns left devastated by the deadly New Year's Eve blazes that tore through the south coast of New South Wales as communities there struggle to heal the scars.
On the south coast, you'd expect to see shoots of hope, but on the faces of locals, there's still so much despair.
It feels like we've been treating water for 12 months now. Still walking around with other people's clothes on and sleeping in other people's beds. That's the reality for a lot of people.
In January, we stood in the ruins of Steve's Malua Bay home, lost in the New Year's Eve inferno. Nearly 12 months on, the block is still empty. He comes every day to feed the animals, but his wife can't bear to be here.
I think we're the same as most people on the coast. They're just holding in there.
At nearby Mogo, families have spent the year camping, many too shattered to talk to us. Those who fought the flames now battling to get through to mates.
Sometimes it takes a little bit of time talking with them before you can gain an impression that really this person needs to go and seek some counselling.
The bush is recovering a lot faster than the people who live in it, and while the emotional barriers are hard to overcome, those trying to rebuild are also being bogged down by red and green tape.
To get anything done, it's impossible.
Mogo Business Chamber President Richard Adams has been helping people fill out application forms for grants, and even he is exhausted.
I'm frustrated with watching people having to come and relive the story to get help.
The sheer volume of homes lost slowing the process.
Waiting on council to get the house plans through, but in 12 months, nothing's changed much. We feel like we are the forgotten people.
Local member Andrew Constance accepting there has been a failure in coordinating the recovery.
We can't have all these structures, all this red tape and people falling through the cracks. I think that the pandemic really stuffed it. You know, we had people volunteering in Blaze Aid, they had to go home. We had NGOs with people on the ground, they had to go home. We had mental health counsellors on the ground, they had to go home.
Leaving devastated people with only each other to lean on, local barista Matt has put his life on hold to help. From water and generators in the immediate aftermath, now he's delivering kitchens and tools.
A lot of people were very underinsured, so any sort of little bits of help to get that house up, just something up and livable is what they're after. It's sad, I guess, in a way to see that we're still needed.
From those who've lost everything to those who kept them afloat, this drained and battle-weary community still has a long way to go. Liz Daniels, 9 News.
Greg Norman has revealed he was so crippled by COVID-19 he couldn't even open a door. The shark was admitted to hospital twice last week after testing positive to the virus.
I wouldn't wish this on anybody. Any of the symptoms that I've had, not a combination of all of them.
The 65-year-old is now isolating at his home in Florida. The world is tonight mourning a fashion great. Pierre Cardin has died at the age of 98. The French designer was famous for his groundbreaking styles and for bringing high fashion to the masses.
He'll be remembered as a revolutionary, a designer for 70 years, a lifelong innovator who never stopped challenging convention. Pierre Cardin was born in Italy but became a giant of French fashion, training under Christian Dior in the 1940s, then launching his own label in the 50s. To the horror of fellow high-end designers, his range was affordable.
Another leader of the fashion world in Paris, Pierre Cardin, takes the town by storm and reveals to breathlessly excited womanhood what they simply must be wearing by Easter.
Among the designs that would turn the pioneer into a legend, the bubble dress that quickly became a worldwide hit, the slimmed-down collarless suit worn by the Beatles, who described him as one step ahead of tomorrow, and the futuristic designs inspired by the space age, not always practical, like these proposed uniforms for nurses. The fashion icon became the first to turn his name into a brand and his brand into a global empire, with perfumes, ties, furniture, even food, growing his fortune without once asking for a bank loan. Pierre Cardin was 98 when he passed away in a hospital near Paris. After the news broke, his social media accounts posted one of his best-known quotes. "I have always worked in my own style, which is different from all others. It was always my intention to be different, because that is the only way to last. And last he shall, his name and legacy will live on." In London, Karianne Greenbank, 9 News.
Top shelf and just $35. The Aussie drop that's been named one of the world's best. Archie steals the show as the Sussexes release their new podcast. From Cairns to Coolangatta, the new Queensland getaway discounts available right now. Plus, where the whole family can play putt-putt with your favourite Pixar characters these school holidays.
The mums on the warpath over baby products that never arrived.
It's quite disappointing and disheartening. It's a lot of money to lose.
A current affair next.
Paramedics. One of the most terrifying things you could ever go through.
I know this is scary, but you're going to be okay.
Tonight on 9.
At Total Tools, we won't be beaten on Boxing Day deals. Milwaukee 5-piece kit, only $1,399, plus score a bonus 8-amp-hour battery worth $200. Beat that! Hurry, stock strictly limited at Total Tools. Low prices on every tool for every trade, guaranteed.
Buy any new or pre-owned car at the Motorama 3-day sale and you'll spin to win up to $2,000 cash. Motorama Spin to Win, 3 days only, and it's on now. Maruka, Browns Plains and Springwood.
The Nick Scali January sale is on now. Our biggest sale of the year with savings across a huge range of quality furniture. The Nick Scali January sale on now.
Times have been tough on small business, so Visa wants to help connect consumers with small businesses that need your support. It's called Where You Shop Matters, and it's about making a conscious decision, because where you shop can make a real difference.
This year we were searching for something, not far away from home, but far away from our daily routine. What we found was an amazing place, space to have fun and privacy, time to recharge our batteries, the moments that make Australia.
Find more than you're searching for. Trivago. Compare accommodation offers from the leading brands worldwide and find the right deal for you. Hotel, holiday home, family time. Trivago.
Authentic street food. Dig in. Uh-oh, party's over, folks.
With added germ kill, Mortein Power Guard's all-in-one spray eliminates insects and 99.9% of the germs they carry.
Real love is lighting up her world, turning the everyday into magic, making moments that last forever. eHarmony, here for real love.
The Saucy McRib and legendary El Maco are back at Macca's. Delicious pork dripping in smoky barbecue rib sauce and juicy beef with chunky Mexican salsa. Wherever summer takes you, we'll be here.
The Maya Stocktake sale is now on, with 50% off selected mattresses, like this Sealy Posturepedic Carlisle, now $2,199, or this Sleepmaker Medina, now $1,999. On sale now for a limited time.
My store.
Tomorrow on Today, we're farewelling 2020.
Finally, hooray!
We have your complete guide on enjoying New Year's Eve safely.
Plus, the home appliances that made life in lockdown a little easier and why we're still obsessed with them. See you from 5:30.
A $35 Australian wine has been named among the world's best by international critics. The Strathbogie Ranges Shiraz beating a long list of more expensive drops.
The year is 2018 and in the foothills of the Great Dividing Range just north of Melbourne, there's a wine being made that's destined for greatness.
There's a bit of magic in there for sure.
18 was a very good year, very good year.
And so this Ladies Who Shoot Their Lunch Shiraz was born. 2 years later, the world's top wine critics say this $35 Victorian drop is among the world's best.
They review thousands upon thousands of wine every year. and it's just unbelievable to be named in the top 100.
The Shiraz is aged in huge 150-year-old casks made from English oak.
Smooth, fruity, very easy to drink.
And this recognition from the prestigious Wine Spectator magazine in the US has capped off what has been an incredibly challenging year.
To get an award like this at the end has put a real full stop on 2020, and we're very excited about it, and we're feeling a lot better about 2021.
Now, the experts say this Shiraz has an aroma of spicy oak and pepper spice and a flavour of dark chocolate, rich berry and oak spice with silky tannins. Now, I'm no expert, but I say it tastes pretty good. Just two other Australian wines made the top 100, a 2018 Penfolds Shiraz from South Australia and a 2017 Vas Felix Cab Sav from Margaret River.
It's always a long journey, winemaking, so when you get results like those, you always appreciate them.
Appreciate, like you would, a fine wine, and if Mother Nature cooperates, there could be more top gongs on the horizon.
Hopefully we can repeat it in 19 and 20 and beyond. Yeah, I hope so.
Reid Butler, 9 News.
The Duke and Duchess of Sussex have released their first podcast, featuring famous voices the likes of Elton John and James Corden. But there was one voice we hadn't heard before, with 1.5-year-old Archie making his vocal debut.
Archie's it fun? Fun.
After me, ready? Happy?
Happy? New?
New?
New.
The half-hour episode reflecting on the year is part of a multi-million-dollar Spotify deal. Well, there's fun for the whole family these holidays, with South Bank being transformed into a Pixar paradise. After a successful season at King George Square, Pixar Putt is back, and there are many old favourites and familiar faces returning to the golfing green. There's also a few surprises in store, with 5 brand new holes you can try for a hole-in-one until February the 7th. The selection act swings. Has Joe Burns survived? The details next. While some of the teammates play golf, Steve Smith and Marnus Labuschagne hit the nets. At the end of sport, one woman's crusade to swap checkpoint frustration with a bit of neighbourhood cheer, one bottle of water at a time. Fire hazard and urgent recall of a popular Aldi product.
We've got a full moon tonight, so that is if the clouds will let us see it. It means slightly higher tides, so keep that in mind if you're planning on hitting the water or throwing a line in. What's in store weather-wise? I'll have your forecast up soon.
Max Murphy fought for our country. Now his family is fighting for him. Poisoned in his Queensland home. Relatives demand justice. A current affair next.
Oh, what a shot! That was incredible.
Never before have we been this strong. 2 world #1s and the most exciting player on the planet leading the Aussie charge.
There it is!
Will this be our greatest Aussie Open ever?
That's it! Can you believe it?
Just what this big crowd wanted.
I'd like a bar of chocolate, please. Happy birthday, Mum.
There's a glass and a half in everyone.
Hi, can I get 2 Big Mac meals, please?
And would you like $10,000 with that?
Spend $10 for your chance to win $10,000 at Macca's, with 10 winners every day throughout December.
The Hyundai sale event is now on. Experience all the best sides, including stunning value on selected models in the Hyundai range. Limited stock only, so what are you waiting for? Test drive a Hyundai today.
Boxing Day sale at canningvale.com. Queen quilt cover sets now $69.99. Terrazzo 6-piece towel set now $39.99. Luxury beach towels now $19.99. Boxing Day sale at canningvale.com.
Hi, I'm Prue from Batch & Co, and these are our virgin cocktail sodas, and we're proudly made in Australia.
Buy Aussie Now. It's the one-stop shop for Aussie businesses. Support local. BuyAussieNow.com.au.
Today is day one of the Dove trial.
Would you recommend Dove antiperspirant?
I absolutely love it and I would recommend it.
I just love how dry it is. My underarms feel so much smoother.
I have the confidence that I'm going to smell fresh all day.
It leaves that moisturised feeling.
I still am totally in love with the smell.
In our boldest trial ever, 3 out of 4 women recommended Dove antiperspirant with 1/4 moisturising cream.
I am making the switch to Dove.
48-hour protection, cared for underarms.
At Nick Scarley, the Andes TV unit was $15.90, now half price $7.95. This beautiful timber unit now $7.95. The Nick Scarley January sale on now.
Boys.
Watch Sky Racing live, anywhere. Now available on Sportsbet.
Support that's backed by orthopedic research. Because it's what's inside that counts. And that's what makes it clearly a Sealy.
Joe Burns' Test career may be over after being released from the Aussie squad for the final 2 tests. Selectors finally running out of patience with the battling batsmen. Will Bukowski and David Warner have been added to the squad, while Pat Cummins claims Australia's batting woes aren't as bad as they seem.
With their test duties done a day early, some rare free time for our cricketers. Golf, the activity of choice. Those freedoms will be short-lived, however, with much tighter controls to come in Sydney and Brisbane.
For sure, some people are going to have it harder than others. I'm lucky I got a week or so at home during the one-dayers, during the T20s. But yeah, we do have some guys who haven't seen their partners for 4 or 5 months.
It was perhaps no surprise that Steve Smith led a small group to the MCG nets with his mate Marnus Labuschagne in tow. Only today, Smith was bowling. Both so far not quite living up to their own lofty expectations with the bat.
The reality is it's only been 2 test matches. They're both massive run scorers.
Cummins adamant the pair don't need to look too far back to recapture confidence and form.
Marnus absolutely churned them out and dominated last summer. Steve was it a month ago that he scored 2 back-to-back hundreds in the one-dayers off 70 balls or so. So, no stress. I'm sure they'll find a way.
David Warner, meanwhile, will rejoin his teammates tomorrow night before the entire squad flies to Sydney on Monday. Ayrton Woolley, 9 News.
New Zealand is poised to become the #1 Test team in the world for the first time in history. The Kiwis pulling off a remarkable victory over Pakistan with just 4 overs remaining on the final day. Pakistan lost its final 6 wickets for just 31 runs. The second test starts on January 3rd. While the Heat are looking for back-to-back wins over the Hurricanes tonight, Sydney reigns supreme in the Big Bash with both sides on top of the ladder. Sixers import Jason Holder starred with ball and bat, blasting 16 runs off the final over against the Renegades.
Straight up, takes on net off. It's gone. Decent hit, and it is gone.
He's been so good around the group in only the 3 games that he's played, so he's certainly left a mark.
Englishman Alex Hales smashed 71 runs off just 21 balls as the Thunder scored a franchise record 219 against the Stars, winning by a mammoth 75 runs. The Raw have been left to rue a number of squandered chances in the first half against Melbourne City in their A-League season opener. City snatched all 3 points with a second-half goal to Connor Metcalf.
We lost the game, so, and I don't think we should have. We had enough chances not to lose a game. So right now for us as a group, we're disappointed. So, we'll find the positives in the performance and the fact that we're creating chances. But, at the end of the day, we've still lost and it still stings.
Just over 9,000 fans turned up to Dolphin Stadium for the first home game since the Raw announced their move to Redcliffe. Manchester United have climbed to second on the Premier League table thanks to a 1-0 win over Wolves. Marcus Rashford's deflected shot finding the back of the net in the 93rd minute, securing all 3 points for United. At the other end of the table, West Bromwich Albion just can't take a trick. This horrendous own goal, the first of 5 conceded against Leeds, who have now won 3 of their past 4 matches. Ben Simmons and the Philadelphia 76ers have continued their strong start to the NBA season, defeating the Toronto Raptors by 7 points. The victory improves Philly's record to 3 wins and just the 1 loss, which puts them in 5th place in the Eastern Conference. And the Milwaukee Bucks made an NBA record 29 three-point shots in their 47-point demolition of last year's finalists, the Miami Heat. They're falling pretty hard, the Heat, unfortunately.
Everyone's shooting threes, aren't they?
They are, yep.
Thanks, Michael. As frustrations reach breaking point at our border, one Good Samaritan is taking matters into her own hands. On a mission to help motorists stuck in mayhem, 1 bottle of water at a time.
Speeding down one-way streets, cutting through car parks.
It's just becoming quite risky.
Tensions are rising at our border, and it's easy to see why.
About 2 hours now.
We didn't prepare for that long with baby. So we are struggling.
From her Tweed Heads unit, Brianna Allen has a bird's eye view of it all.
I see it every day and I'm watching it from up in the towers, and there's a lot of aggression going on.
Sick of watching the stress play out on her street, she's taking action. And fighting fury with friendship.
Well, you're nearly there, so you'll make it across.
I'm running rather late for work.
I'm sure you are.
Bottles of water delivered with sympathy and a smile.
Yeah, so awesome. Nice. Thank God. We've run out of everything.
A bright light of kindness shining in the gloom of a 9-month border battle. And while the heartache runs deep, Brianna knows she can at least make a difference for commuters in chaos.
Especially ones with little kids or elderly people with them in the car. Ones that didn't have aircon in their car, that were sitting there hot, sweaty, tired, cranky.
With no end in sight for border closures or scenes like this, Brianna's calling on border crossers and locals alike to take a leaf from her book and be kind to one another. After all, we're all in this together.
Thank you. You read my mind. You're a gem. You're an angel.
Megan Gillespie, 9 News.
Good work. Well, coming up in just 3 minutes, Queensland summer getaway savings. The new government-approved discounts on offer now, making a holiday close to home more affordable. Next, we're breaking down the deals you should know about. But firstly, Ebony's back. Ebony, a little bit of rain around this evening?
There's been some widespread showers around, including here in the city, Andrew. Not as much as you would expect here in the city, though, and there's more on the way. I have your weather forecast coming up next.
We've become so entangled. Our hearts, they hurt the same. But somehow we always seem to shake things off. We never seem to let the burdens weigh us down. Yeah, we're okay now. Together we made a stronger start.
The mums on the warpath over baby products that never arrived.
It's quite disappointing and disheartening. It's a lot of money to lose.
A current affair next.
Find me. Australia's Harriet Dyer sees what no one else can. If you want to leave here, I can help you. The In-Between, tonight 8:30 on 9 and on 9 Now.
At Total Tools, we won't be beaten on Boxing Day deals. Crescent 5-piece locking plier set, only $35.95. That's 58% off. Beat that. Hurry, stock strictly limited at Total Tools. Low prices on every tool for every trade. Guaranteed.
It's hot. Too hot. So do something delicious about it. McCafe iced coffee. Real coffee, real cold. And absolutely perfect for summer mornings. Drive through today.
Come on, mate. Come with Dad.
Hi.
Hi. It's time for a new car.
I hear ya. So does everyone else, apparently. Well, SR5 now comes with even more power.
Sounds good.
Make any excuse this play clearance. Get the new Hilux 4x4 SR5 with free on-roads. Oh, what a feeling. Toyota.
Shaver Shop's Boxing Day sale. Save up to 85%. Flawless facial hair remover, save 60%. Waterpik cordless flosser, now $79. Half price Braun Epilator, now $149. Shaver Shop's Boxing Day sale on now.
World famous Bose audio is on sale now at Video Pro. Save 20% on all Bose headphones. Save 15% on all Bose soundbars and subwoofers. Hot prices on all lifestyle home theatre systems. Grab a Bose deal online or in-store today at Video Pro.
Rivers Boxing Day mega sale on now. Up to 75% off. Levi's now $29. Puma, Adidas, New Balance now $39. Save up to 75% off big brands at Rivers. You'll be doing the Rivers dance too.
At Pacific Harbour, Bribie Island, the beach is part of your life. Secure your large home site from under $290,000. Just 50 minutes from Brisbane Airport by bridge. Visit bribiebeach.com.au.
Hey mate, have you seen the Sportsbet app now has Sky Racing?
Really?
Yep. Live racing from all around Australia right there on your phone.
Oh, I'm liking this.
Yeah, just one tap and you're streaming from Randwick, Caulfield, Ascot, Dapto Dogs.
Righto, mate, I get it. What are you, the Sportsbet guy now or something?
I actually do a pretty good impression.
This is new. Sky Racing, now available on the Sportsbet app.
Bloody hell, that's pretty good.
I told you.
At Carpet Call, we've got new shipments of rugs to clear from our warehouses. Choose one of our latest design fashion rugs and take 50% off the ticketed price on our website. Jump onto carpetcall.com.au now for 50% off rugs.
Discover the art of simplicity at the King's Summer Sale. Save on the best in Australian design. So why buy ordinary furniture when you can come home to King?
This is all.
Checking finance, the stock market closed lower. The All Ords down 19 points. Our dollar buying 76 US cents. Fuel prices, the average for unleaded in Brisbane $1.33 and diesel around $1.17. And on the Gold Coast, prices about the same. If you're planning a new year clean at home, this Aldi product isn't the one to do it with. There's a recall for the corded bagless Easy Home multi-cyclonic vacuum cleaner in blue and red. The vacuums motor could overheat when the dust filter is blocked and cause a fire. It was sold in Aldi stores from February to March and September to December this year. Well, Queenslanders are helping Queenslanders boost our struggling tourism industry with mega discounts available on accommodation and attractions across the state. Tonight we found the best deals on offer, meaning you can take a summer getaway without breaking the bank.
A new year just around the corner and a new chance to pay less on a last-minute holiday.
So a lot of businesses have had to pivot to the domestic market and still are, and that means possibly changing what you offer slightly.
It's good news for anyone looking to explore the Sunshine State. The cost of summer getaways plummeting as tourism operators fill bookings left behind by southern tourists.
We're trying to give back a little bit to everyone who's supported us during this tough time with some really great deals.
Experts say across Queensland you can save an average of 30%. Dive into Cairns deals with cruises on the Great Barrier Reef up to 50% off. If you're entertaining the kids, SeaWorld is offering 30% off stays and unlimited entry into its theme parks during your trip. A staycation at the Star could see you save 20% off rooms and 35% off suites. From beach to bush, the discounts stretch as far as Longreach, where you'll get an extra night stay at Saltbush Retreat for free. Tourism and Events Queensland has done all the hard work for you, listing hundreds of deals on the Queensland.com website. But you don't have to pack your bags right away. Some deals are on offer until the Easter school holidays to keep the tourism industry booming.
But get out there and on those boats and those theme parks and those different hinterland experiences and try them out because they need support as well.
The support bolstered by the state government's latest stage of its Good to Go campaign, promoting the affordable holidays too and spruiking our own backyard. Chloe Robinson, 9 News.
Ebony's back now with all the weather details. Ebony, it was a bit cooler today, wasn't it?
Yeah, it certainly was, Andrew. You weren't imagining it. The temperatures were about 3 degrees below average while that rain started to move through. Speaking of that rain, we didn't have a huge amount, but it was widespread. If we take a look at the radar, you can see that we had a few millimetres really intensified around the Bayside and coastal areas. We got more than 20 millimetres in the Redlands, but about 5 in Caboolture, 8 in Amberley and 5 to 10 on the Sunshine Coast, depending on exactly where you were. Now, more on that rain shortly. Let's get into today's temperatures. We reached a top of 26 degrees in the city today, 27 on the Bayside and in Ipswich, 23 in Caboolture, 23 for the Sunshine Coast too, and 26 on the Gold Coast. On tomorrow's map, we've got storms and rain and showers on the way for the tropics and eastern parts of Australia. A trough in the west drawing some heat there and some isolated showers and storms. Around the country tomorrow, showers expected for the last day of 2020 in Sydney and Canberra, cloudy in Melbourne, 23 degrees, a sunny 29 in Adelaide and a hot 32 for Perth and Darwin. Back home in Queensland, look, it's not a sunny end of the year. We do have rain expected pretty much right across the state tomorrow from Cooktown to Coolangatta. The north and central regions could see the heaviest of those falls. So that's Mackay, Rockhampton and Bundaberg. Temperatures a little lower too, 31 in Townsville and Mackay. Chance of thunderstorms for those areas as well, most likely in the afternoon. In the southeast, partly cloudy, some showers expected and a good chance of an inland thunderstorm. Overnight temps falling between 17 and 22, daytime temperatures around 30. On the bay, east to southeasterly winds 10 to 15 knots, increasing up to 20 knots in the morning, seas around a metre but increasing in the morning. In Brisbane tomorrow, your New Year's Eve, cloudy and showers. The Bureau says we could get up to about 8 millimetres. We're heading for 29 degrees. Similar conditions for New Year's Day as well. Chance of a few millimetres, 28 degrees, and the showers are sticking around probably until next week. A few millimetres expected in Ipswich tomorrow, chasing a high of 31. Chance of a thunderstorm too from the west. The Gold Coast could get up to 10 millimetres tomorrow. It eases off from there though, less on Friday, 27 degrees. And on the Sunshine Coast, the falls could get heavy at times tomorrow, up to 27 degrees for both tomorrow and the first day of 2021. Andrew, it looks like we could have a few of those showers around well into the new year.
Well, we've gone without for so long, Ebony. That is some good news. Thank you. And that is 9 News Queensland for this evening.